fam, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. I'm Intentional Favor, and here I film videos on lifestyle, faith, studying abroad, living in the UK, and so many good stuffs in between. So please consider joining the family by clicking on the subscribe button. Also turn your notification on so that whenever I release a new video, you'll be among the first people to know about that. And to all my amazing returning subscribers, I love you guys so much. Thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. So fam, from the title of this video, you might know what I'm about to talk about. Yeah, so in this video, I'll just be talking about the good and the bad sides of being on UK dependent visa. I made a video some weeks ago where I mainly addressed international students, dependents of international students. I gave my views and kind of an advice that I think will help them, and that was because of so many experiences of international students in the UK. It's a struggle once you finish your studies, trying to stay back in the country, get a job and all of that. So I mostly addressed their dependents. In case you've not seen that video, you might want to check the description box. I'm going to leave the link to that video in the description box. So like I said, in today's video, let's just talk about the good sides and the bad sides of being on UK dependent visa. Let's probably start with the good sides. Okay, I think some people misinterpreted what I was trying to say in the last video. I'm not saying that dependents are of less value, or that dependent visa is rubbish or anything. No, that's absolutely not true. Okay, and that was not what I was trying to say in that video, because being on UK dependent visa has advantages. Okay, and of course the most common one is the fact that it gives you flexibility with work. Yeah. So when you're on dependent visa, you can work anywhere. You can work as many hours as you want. There is no restriction. There is no limitation as to how many hours you can work. And of course, there's no restriction to the type of job you can do. So that's a very big advantage if you ask me. So in essence, it can also give you opportunities for you to kind of easily switch a job without worrying about what will happen to you. So what I mean is this: if you're on skilled worker visa, for instance, it's more like a contract. You are to work for this organization, this agency, or wherever you are working. You are meant to work for them. Okay, and of course you can actually work 20 hours extra elsewhere in the same profession. For instance, I'm a social worker, so if I want to have an extra job or do an extra work, probably I feel that I'm not earning so much as I want, I have to look for another job as a social worker, and of course apply for that job, and I can only work 20 hours. I know that government have actually said some things recently. Earlier this year, they kind of lifted that 20 hours ban, that when you are on a skilled worker visa, as far as it's within health and social care, you can actually work more than 20 hours. But the truth of the matter is that most UK employers, most HRs, they don't know about this. It's really sad. Okay, people have come to me and I know their experiences that trying to get a second job has been difficult, because whenever they apply to this place, they check their their BRP and their visa status, and it says there that, oh, you can only work for 20 hours. They've said it, that they've lifted it, but in reality, whether on their website or whatever, they have actually not done that. So most employers, they will just check it and say that you can only work for 20 hours, and most of them are looking for people that can work more than 20 hours, or some of them will not even bother that it's 20 hours you can work. They will just say, oh, sorry, you are on sponsorship, we are looking for people that are not on sponsorship, because they kind of feel that you'll be more committed to the workplace or the agency that gave you sponsorship than you will be committed to them. So they will rather employ someone who doesn't have sponsorship. So if you are a dependent, it gives you that flexibility. As a dependent, you can work you can be working in different places, to be fair, of course, as far as you are not breaching your contract. Like if you have 40 hours contract with a particular organization, for instance, or 37.5 hours as it usually is, and then another place you signed only 20 hours, and another place you can choose to sign 20 hours and all of that. As far as you are doing all of that, no one will go and check and say, oh, sorry, your visa, you can't work more than this or that. It gives you that flexibility of work. So another thing it can do is that some people recently, maybe I'll talk about that later, are having issues with their employers for whatever reason. I know, so many reasons, obviously. They're having issues. And the thing is that, for instance, if you are on skilled worker visa and then you have issues with your employer who gave you sponsorship, you find that if anything happens, okay, you will not easily decide to leave, just resign and say, I'm fed up. So sometimes you see people enduring so many stops because they know that the reason why they are in this country is because of these people. So they will take any rubbish, they will take anything just because they want to keep their job, and not just keeping their job because they want to remain in the country. Some people, they don't love their job so much because some people, with healthcare, visa that has been introduced that is going. So many people are on that visa. Some people don't take really joy, so to say, in doing those kind of jobs, but they just have to continue because that's the reason why they are in the country. But if you're on dependent visa, come on, you can switch jobs. You can leave a job and go to another one. If they try to mess up with you and you're not happy with them, just resign and another job is waiting for you. You can do any job you want, and I think that's a massive advantage. However, another thing you need to think of is your own situation, and that's the major message I want to pass across in this video. When you are watching this, I want you to look at your situation. For some people, being on dependent visa will give them better time. It will give them more flexibility. For instance, sometimes, I wish I'm on dependent visa in the sense that I can choose not to be working. That is if it's even okay, because sometimes, especially your early days in the UK, you need to make money, you need to be earning, and of course, but sometimes, due to some situations, for instance, my condition, recently, some days I don't feel like going to work, but I cannot just resign because that's the reason why I'm in this country. If anything happens to that visa or with my workplace, I have no visa to remain in the country, then I'm going back, and I don't want that to be my situation, so I have to keep struggling. But being on dependent, it gives you that flexibility, especially maybe women who are, childbearing age or stage of their life. I think it gives them more flexibility, kind of, if they feel that, because sometimes, to be fair, you need to look at your mental health and your physical health in some cases, so you can choose not to work and just stay at home, take care of your kids. That one alone on its own is a job, okay? So depending on how comfortable your family is, depending on the job your other partner is doing, you can choose not to work and it gives you that flexibility. However, if something happens to the main applicant, and that for me is more like the disadvantage because of being on dependent visa. So one of the disadvantages is that if anything should happen to the main applicant with their place of work or anything, I think, and of course the person loses his or her sponsorship, the person has issues with their workplace. Like I said, so many people, for whatever reason, recently are just immigrants, especially Africans. They are just having one issue or the other with their employers, with their workplace, and they are getting queries, they are getting so many issues. And then if anything should happen to that person, let's say this person is the main applicant, and anything should happen to this person and this person loses his or her sponsorship, the Home Office will definitely tell you because they will withdraw it. Just give you some time for you to find another job that will give you sponsorship. And if you don't, it means that you have no valid visa to remain in the country and you will be going back to your home country. Okay, so that for me is a risk, which is why in that video I kind of said it in passing that if it's possible, depending on your situation, maybe a dependent should also try and get his or her own sponsorship. Now, the issues about having issues at workplace and all of that is mostly common among people that came into the country via this healthcare visa. You don't want to know, guys, so many people are losing their visas. It's an untold story. Of course, no one will come out on YouTube or on social media and joyfully tell you that they lost their visa and they are going back to their country. It's not a good news to share. Some people, it will take them months to recover before they can actually be bold or able to share that kind of stories. Some people will just slide into DMs of people and be telling them. Some people, you just hear that, oh, I have this friend, look at what just happened. So people are kind of losing their visas. There are so many reasons for that. Some of them is because of allegations, okay? Some of them is because of, maybe you can call it racism, okay? Some of them is because probably they didn't get that visa genuinely, and because of that they will lose their visa. Home Office are currently, taking strict measures when it comes to this health and care visa now. And of course, some of these agencies that probably, extort money from people, do some things they shouldn't be doing, getting people to come to the country. Some people are talking about not having experience and all of that. Sometimes when they find out about these agencies, because they have the right to actually withdraw their license to sponsor people. And once an organization, once a workplace, an agency loses their license to sponsor anybody, Home Office will write a letter to everybody that have sponsorship from that. The license is no longer there, and what it means is that you have no visa because your organization has lost its license to sponsor you, and they will tell you find another job, else you will be going back, or find another visa route, or else you'll be going back to your country. You'll be leaving the UK. And this most times, it's always a very bad situation. It's not good because it usually breaks families. Okay, it breaks families, it tears them apart, it frustrates them. Imagine when you have built something, or when your mind is in something and all of a sudden it crashes. No one will like that experience, and that is why I usually say, where possible, okay, especially if you are on this particular visa, or you think that the main applicant is beginning to have some issues at workplace, and you are envisaging that you are not sure what the future holds with that main applicant sponsorship, it should be best as a dependent to go and look for your own visa sponsorship, because what it means is that if the main applicant is going down, you are going down as well. So that's a massive disadvantage as well. Okay, so it's a disadvantage. It has its own advantages, like I pointed earlier, but then it has the disadvantage that anything that happens to the main applicant, whenever they lose their visa, equally, automatically you also lose your own visa as a dependent, and you are going down with the person. So it's up to you. Now, if you are working in certain jobs, like I said, maybe you are an NHS staff. Obviously, we know that NHS, their process of recruitment and everything is pure. Okay, you know that your job, you have high chances of getting another sponsorship or something. Okay, you don't have anything to worry. If you've been in the country, the making applicant has been in the country on this visa 2 years, 3 years. Of course, I'm not saying that nothing can happen. Things can still happen, but the chances of anything happening before getting to that 5 years, when you can then apply for ILR, you find out that it is very slim. So people that have their job has like high job security, people that have high job security, I think like the main applicants now, they have high job security. I don't think the dependent will have so much to worry about. Okay, then you can remain a dependent and of course enjoy these advantages of flexibility of work. You can choose not to work. Nobody is after you that you have to work how many hours. Honestly, I love that about being on dependent visa. But the main thing is, what is your situation? Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's, condition is totally different. So it depends on you. Weigh it. You look at your situation. What is the job security of the main applicant? What is the sustainability? If you look at it and you think that it's fine, then you can go ahead. Because another disadvantage when it comes to switching as a dependent to probably skilled worker is that one of the major requirements to switching to skilled worker is English language test requirement. Yeah, proof of English proficiency. And that's where some people get stuck sometimes. And I want to give this advice. If you are looking at, you think that, okay, job security wise, the main applicant doesn't pass that, there are chances this person might lose the sponsorship or anything might happen, or you personally decide to play safe. People decide to play safe. You don't necessarily have to wait, okay, job security or something. Some people just, decide to play safe because two good heads are better than one. If both of you have your visas, if anything happens to this one, this person can become the dependent of another one. So people think differently. That's why I said at the end of the day, it's up to you to make your choice. If you assess yourself and think that you actually need to switch from dependent to skilled worker, you need to start on time to start thinking about English proficiency, either writing IELTS if you don't have it. However, know that if you have studied in the UK, you have a degree in UK, you won't need an IELTS test again, whether or not you wrote it when you were coming in or not. Another thing that people usually do is NARIC, okay? So if you already have a degree from your country and you get a letter from your university stating that you actually had your lessons or your studies in English, you have your transcript and your certificate, you can go and do NARIC review. That is, for Canada, then I think you do, is it West or Ways, something like that. America is like that. It's just like converting maybe if you're in Nigeria, your Nigerian certificate or transcript to meet British standards. So once you have that NARIC certificate that says that, okay, yeah, this is the standard, people also use that as well as proof of English. So that's another disadvantage for me when it comes to maybe thinking of switching from dependent to skilled worker visa, because you need to think about English proficiency, and some people, it usually discourages them. But like I said, weigh your option. Which one do you prefer? Would you rather go through the stress of writing IELTS or doing all this NARIC certification, or maybe just wait till something happens? What's your situation like? Do you think the main applicant might have issues at work? What's the job security of the main applicant? The ball is in your court. I'm not going to make that decision for you. No one is going to make that decision for you. But it's just for you to be aware of the options you have, kind of look into it and think of what will work best for you. What works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. So choose wisely. And that is where I bring this video to an end. I want to believe that you enjoyed it and it added value to you. Please don't forget to like it, give the video thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and share this video with as many people that you think might need it. And I'll be seeing you in my next one. Until then, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take good care of yourselves. Bye.